Hi, I am Selma, and this here is my best friend Megan. Although I haven't actually seen Megan in over 10 years. In fact, I'm pretty sure she's dead, murdered by her high school boyfriend, Manfred. But before I tell you the whole story, please subscribe to this channel and like the video. Okay, back in high school, Megan and I did everything together, including shoplifting. Both of our families were rich, so we could have simply bought the clothes ourselves, but that wasn't the point. For me and Megan, it was all about the adrenaline rush that we got from breaking the law. Then, in 12th grade, Megan fell in love with this guy, Manfred. Manfred was best known in our school for playing an awful prank on his math teacher, where he slipped a real rat tail, into his coffee. When the teacher took another sip and noticed the tail, he got so disgusted that he vomited all over his desk. It was a big scandal, and the school administration tried everything to figure out who was responsible for this prank. However, none of Manfred's classmates snitched on him because they were all afraid that he would beat them up as revenge. This was understandable, considering Manfred had once broken the nose of a classmate just because he didn't let him cheat off his paper during an exam. All of this should have been a big red flag for Megan. I told her not to date Manfred, but a girl that is in love doesn't always think rationally. At the same time, Manfred was a master manipulator. He made Megan believe that they were soulmates and pressured her to move into his rundown little shack, even though they were just teenagers. Megan agreed to move in, and that's when the horror show began. I once visited them. Megan's dog had just died, and I came by to console her. Manfred was there too, but all he did was scream at Megan. I know your dog just died, but are you always going to cry like a little girl when something bad happens? Manfred showed no empathy at all and even said, I hope your tears won't wash away your makeup, because you know I will throw up if I have to see your real face once more. I had enough and screamed, Stop it! Megan deserves better than you scumbag. Manfred wasn't happy that I stood up to him, so he grabbed my arm, dragged me to the door, and literally kicked me out. I fell right on the pavement and bruised both my knees, which hurt a lot. However, I knew that Megan had it much worse. The next day in school, I told her, You have to break up with Manfred before he's going to hurt you. I know he has issues, but I still love him. Oh God, I hate it when girls let a guy treat them like crap in the name of love. It took Megan another 3 months of surviving Manfred to finally come to her senses. I just can't be with him anymore. He is so cruel to me. And yesterday, I found out he got another girl pregnant but refuses to visit his own child. Great, then break up with him. But what if he won't accept it? What if he won't let me go? It's not up to him. If he threatens you, call the police and send his butt to prison. I don't know. Maybe I should just run away. What? No! You have to stand up to him. Don't let this jerk destroy your life. To this day, I wish I hadn't given her that advice. Megan knew better than me just how dangerous Manfred was. But because she respected my opinion, she met up with Manfred after school to break up with him. And, well, that was the last day I ever saw Megan. The next morning, I found out that she had gone missing. Meanwhile, Manfred claimed that he had found a goodbye by Megan, saying that she had run away to another state. The police only searched for her for 2 days, until they asked me if I knew something about Megan's disappearance. I foolishly said, yeah, Megan thought about running away because she was scared of breaking up with her boyfriend. Oh God, I should have never told them that, because after my statement, the police concluded that Megan had indeed just run away, and so they stopped searching for her. None of it made sense, though. Megan was my best friend, and I knew she would contact me if she ever ran away, at least to let me know she was safe and well. This was so unlike her. She didn't even contact her own parents. She was just suddenly gone. I couldn't shake the feeling that Manfred was behind her disappearance, which is why I started following him around. I quickly noticed that he spent most of his time in his basement, which made me wonder if he held Megan captive inside there. So one night, I crawl up to his window and cover it with duct tape. I had read on the internet that this would prevent any noise being created from me smashing the glass with a hammer. However, I broke the glass and it was incredibly loud. I prayed that it didn't wake Manfred, but of course it did. What are you doing here? I was so shocked I couldn't bring out a word. I know that you've been stalking me for the last couple weeks. I advise you to stop it or I will make you seriously regret it. He scared me so much that of course I stopped my investigation. And surprisingly, 1 week later, I got contacted by a new number saying, Hey, it's me, Megan. I'm sorry I didn't text you earlier. Just wanted to let you know that I'm fine. Well, I was very suspicious. To find out if this was really Megan, I had to video chat with her. And to my relief, she agreed, and we talked for a while on Skype. I said, "You should also call your parents and the police so they stop worrying." "Oh, my parents have never cared about me anyway. Please don't tell anyone that we've talked." Megan and I stayed in touch with each other over the next 5 years. I often texted her that I wanted to see her again in person, but she always declined. That's why I slowly started to wonder if maybe Manfred was holding Megan captive and that he had simply forced her to Skype with me to make me believe she was fine and make me stop stalking him. I wrote, "You must prove somehow that you are safe. Maybe Skype with me while you're outside in public. Or even better, we meet each other somewhere." "Okay, I was planning to visit you anyway. I can come by train next week. Will you pick me up from the train station?" Oh, I was so relieved. I even thought about telling her that it was no longer necessary to visit me at all. But then, 2 days later, after I finished my shift as a nurse, the door of the car next to mine opened with a masked man jumping out and trying to pull me inside. I fought him off as best as I could, but he was way stronger than me. Luckily, another man just walked by and saw what was happening. "Hey, let her go!" It was 2 against 1 now, and the masked man panicked and let go of me again to jump in his car and drive away. Meanwhile, I immediately called the police to report what had happened. I said I was certain that it was Manfred who had tried to kidnap me. I also showed them the text messages I had received from Megan over the last 5 years. I explained that Manfred must have tried to abduct me because I was still trying to solve Megan's disappearance. The police understood they had to act quick, so they rushed over to Manfred's house to search it. Manfred wasn't there anymore, but they found out that Manfred had also bought the neighboring house and that he had connected the 2 basements through a tunnel. When the police entered the other house's basement, they found it flooded with water. Manfred probably did so to destroy any DNA evidence left behind from Megan, who he might have held captive in there for several years. It was crazy. Finally, Manfred came back in his car a few hours later. "Where have you been? You were under investigation." "Me? I just took a drive out in the desert. Why?" Indeed, his statement was later confirmed by video camera footage of a gas station. The police now believed that Manfred disposed Megan's body somewhere out in the desert, but they never found her body, and so due to lack of evidence, Manfred was never convicted of any crime and he is still running around freely. Further police investigation also found that all text messages I had received over the last 5 years from Megan's number had been sent from the same city I live in. So either Megan had never moved to another state, or Manfred had just pretended to be Megan to deceive me. By now, I am pretty sure that Megan is no longer alive, which is both sad and a relief, because at least I don't have to worry about her anymore. Meanwhile, it's chilling to know that I live in the same city as this psycho Manfred. I sometimes wonder if he's mad at me for thwarting his evil plans, and if he's seeking revenge. Either way, for all the girls listening, please be careful about who you date. Some men are incredibly dangerous and don't mind hurting you. Also, if you want to support this channel spreading stories, then please subscribe and leave a like for this video.